House of Kuru, Part 1, Chapter 30. Birth of the Pandavas. Nakula and Sahadeva. Madri never mentioned anything about children. Yet, when he saw Madri, all by herself, gazing mindlessly into the ripples of water as she pelted little stones, Pandu felt a pang of guilt. Guilt for neglecting one of his wives while he frolicked and played with the children of his first wife. He beckoned for Kunti, and Kunti left a hermit in charge of the children and approached her lord. Pandu nodded his head towards Madri, who was pelting small stones in the river by herself. When Kunti saw her, she understood everything without a word from Pandu. She approached Madri. "Dear Madri, Pandu, your lord, wishes for you to bear him children with the aid of a sacred spell, the very same way I did. Will you serve your lord?" asked Kunti, when Madri shot up like a bent bamboo. "Of course, dear queen. Thank you for your kindness, and the Lord, my husband, for making me a mother," said Madri with humility, as she saw through Kunti's request. "Good. Now think of a god, any god you desire, and approach me when you are ready. I will initiate you in the secret spell required to invoke that god," said Kunti. Madri bowed low and began to think. She knew she only had one chance to get a child. Unlike Pandu, she would not be able to convince Kunti for another child, especially as they are living in a forest. After much thought, she decided on the Ashvini gods. In the Veda, they were twin gods who always appeared together. Pandu was overjoyed at the choice. This meant he got 2 more children. While Kunti did not share the same enthusiasm, she permitted the choice nevertheless. The couple approached the sages once more for the most auspicious time for invoking the celestial twin deity. Kunti instructed the secret enchantment to bind the deities in Madri's ear. Madri listened intently, desperately trying to imbibe the sacred incantation to memory. Madri was awed at Kunti's memory. Through tremendous effort on Madri's side, she managed to commit to memory the mantra given by Durvasa to Kunti under Kunti's mentorship. Overjoyed with her achievement, she approached her lord Pandu. "Dear husband and lord of Hastinapura, I have, with great effort, learned the secret spell to invoke the Ashwini twins. Under your command, we can instruct their arrival," said Madri. Pandu congratulated Madri and thanked Kunti. On a new moon day, when the sun was in the center of the sky under the constellation of Ashwini, when the moon was on the sign of the Aries, Madri and Pandu sat cross-legged on a straw mat. Pandu meditated on the Ashwini twin gods, and Madri began the incantation to invoke the celestial deities. Within moments, there was a tremendous earthquake. The ground shook violently. Many of the thatched roof huts were shook to the point of destruction. A large crack appeared on the ground, and it began moving towards the meditating couple. The crack followed a zigzag pattern, and the earth continually shook as the crack moved. Finally, it reached Madri, who was ardently iterating on the sacred hymn to ensure that she does not lose her opportunity for progeny. From the crack, at the same time, 2 powerful horses, driven by the most beautiful horsemen, emerged from the crack under the ground. The second Madri saw the horsemen, she stopped repeating the mantra. Both the horses and the horsemen were of wheatish color, and the horsemen were beautifully adorned with celestial gems and diamonds, jewelry cladded on their entire body. They sparkled like the shiniest star on a no-moon night. "Speak, Madri, for we are here to bestow thy a boon." "But thou must demand it," instructed both the horsemen at the same time. Madri folded her palms and looked up at the horsemen meekly. "Please, O mighty Ashvinis, bestow upon me children of your might and worth." Without a moment's hesitation, both the horsemen lifted their right palms, and sets of tawny and caramel-colored lights blasted through the center of their palms, and they hit Madri right in the center of her forehead, in between her eyebrows. A wonderful feeling surged through Madri as she felt two waves of energy spiral through her body to the bottom of her spine. She felt something like two balls of energy curdling under her stomach. At first, they were both the size of a blueberry, and within minutes they became the size of a small apple, and soon the size of a small mango, and finally she felt as though she had two watermelons inside her womb. Madri began to show signs of exhaustion, and before she knew it, she was extremely tired. She rested on Pandu's left arm as Pandu made her sit, and soon she gave birth to twins. A tawny-colored boy with dark hair and a wheatish child also with dark hair. This child will be known as Sahadeva. He will be a master of astrology and swordsmanship, while the other will be known as Nakula, who will be the master of the sacred art of Ayurveda, and he will know the secret of every herb. He will also be a master of the sword. As they are born through our prowess, they will have a portion of us running through their veins. Such is our boon, as their spiritual fathers, said both the horsemen in perfect unison. Both the babies rivaled Kunti's in extreme beauty. They both had hazel eyes, sharp noses, and broad foreheads. Pandu could not be happier. He hugged his newborn children and introduced them to Yudhishthira, the firstborn, who could now speak, and their whole family, along with the hermits, enjoyed their time together. Pandu, Kunti, Madri, and the retinue of children decided to move from the forests of Chitrakuta to the forests of Shatashrunga. The forests of Shatashrunga housed some of the best sages who were known for their education in the bow, mace, and sword. The forest of Shatashrunga also had much better forage opportunities and more animals to hunt.
I hope you liked today's episode of The House of Kuru. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel and like this video so that you will be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Thank you.